The Nintendo Wii. Wake up. Apparently I got my Wii when I was 5 years old. I do not remember this. But my dad claims that I would not stop begging him for one until he finally caved and drove me around to multiple stores to try and find one because they were out of stock everywhere. And once we finally found one, I'm assuming that Wii Sports was the first game that I played since it came with the console, but I can't remember. Even though I have a solid amount of memories from that age and from even earlier, and the Wii was a big part of my childhood, I just do not remember getting it. One day I just had it and was playing it. And that's the thing about being that age, it's sort of the transitional period between your brain being unable to form proper memories and being able to form proper memories. And that sort of leads to a strange effect, at least for me, to where a lot of the memories I have from that age feel closer to dreams than actual memories. But you know what? Some of my clearest childhood memories are playing video games. So when I tell you some of these Wii games felt like fever dreams, that is not a result of my little kid brain. That's the result of these games being actual fever dream material. Crash Mind Over Mutant. What the hell was this shit? Well, I'll tell you. It's a Crash Bandicoot game where you run and jump around the map and fight dudes. Fair enough. But the thing is that the dudes that you're fighting are these hilarious bad mushroom trip ass creatures. Like a gorilla with a scorpion tail. Or a telekinetic penguin embryo inside of a limbed glass bubble that does the Thriller dance. Or a ratsicle who makes this noise. And the whole thing is that you get to play as the mutants once you beat them up enough. The missions generally involve you beating up a bunch of these guys, and then once they're stunned enough, picking the guy that you want and then jumping on their back to essentially pilot their body. And it's honestly pretty satisfying coming across like a new weird ass mutant and fighting them and then getting to play as them. And for years I had this faint memory of getting stuck somewhere in the desert part of the map and hearing the tiki narrator guy say something about an old lady. And I honestly could never tell if this was an actual memory that I had or a literal fucking dream. But when I went back to beat the game years later, I found out that sure enough, this was an actual level and not a fucking fever dream.
That old lady wanted to do you a favor.
And I was so fascinated by this game at that age that I remember walking around at recess coming up with my own game about mutants in my mind. And I had a storyline for it and everything. And then my Wii was at my dad's house. So I remember one time when I was at my mom's and I like really wanted to play the game, just trying to draw all of the mutants from memory in this little like journal thing that I had. Good times. And then this game, even upon replay when I got older, once when I was 11 and then again when I was 17, was actually pretty fun. The variety with the map and then the actual creatures is actually pretty cool, and the gameplay must have been good if I actually sat down and played it at 17. It is just really weird, but you know what? I'm fucking weird too. I'm just a weird guy. I'm just not like all the other guys. So you know when you're not completely asleep, but you're also not completely awake, like you're in that weird in-between zone, and your brain starts going on tangents about the most random shit, like you're like discovering the fucking key to the universe, and maybe you're seeing visuals and hearing hallucinations. This game is what you hallucinate when you're in that state. And I'm doing this part of the video strictly as therapy for myself because I don't think anyone else actually fucking remembers this game. Mercury Meltdown Revolution. So basically you're this little piece of mercury and it's... Just watch this.
You have to get to the end goal. That the objective.
And this shit was so hard. I mean like brutally hard. And you wanna know why? How do you think you control this blob of mercury? Honestly, what do you think? And when it inevitably splits into 5 different pieces and 3 of them aren't even on your screen anymore and you have to go across this narrow ass platform, do you think that you use the nunchuck joystick? Or maybe the D-pad? No. Fucking tilt controls. And you don't get to swap controls between all of the little pieces of mercury. You have to control all of them at once. And your guy needs to be a specific color to pass through certain parts of the level. So if you split into a bunch of different pieces and they all start turning different colors, you're fucked. Because since you have no individual control over all of your pieces once you split up, you're probably gonna accidentally go into a color changer with at least one of them. And then if you accidentally recombine the color changed little piece with the big blob, which you're probably gonna do since you're controlling them all with the same tilt, your giant blob is gonna have his color changed because this little piece recombined with him.
Oh, look at that. That's not even the right color.
I know it's not the right color.
So you have to either cut your losses and sacrifice your baby, or restart the level. And I'm not restarting this level. I haven't played this since I was probably 7, but I still vividly remember the pain that it put me through. And it just has a strange vibe to it. Like it's a game that your subconscious would make you beat before allowing you to wake up from a coma. Or it's like a fucking post-lobotomy POV. But it's still pretty cool though. I agree. Thank you. Oh my god, I loved this game. It's basically Roller Coaster Tycoon, but it's a lot more structured, and instead of a top-down view of your park, you actually get to walk around your park and like go on your own rides and talk to guests and stuff. Dude, this game was the shit back in the day. But in retrospect, it is way weirder than it had any right to be. But you know what? I kind of love it for that. First of all, this game is called Thrillville, off the rails. You are not required to build finished roller coaster tracks. So if you want to build one that looks like this, go ahead. The guests will just fucking fly off the track and parachute down like it's no big deal. Second, you have to run 5 theme parks in this game, and each one has 3 individual sections with a different theme. And dude, these parks are just batshit crazy. Robots flying through the fucking sky. Robots flying through the sky. Giant evil chefs. Giant bodybuilders. A lot of giant stuff. And if I asked you, what would be a good theme to center an amusement park around? You might say Disney, Dylan, or Super Mario, or the Wild West. This game has Lawnville. Third, the guests. The devs were just fucking trolling at this point.
Hey, I really like Thrillville.
Thanks for the feedback. Blood, or black pudding, is cooked with animal blood.
I don't find that as fascinating as you clearly do.
You can talk to every single guest, and the dialogue is just no. You can kiss girls, talk shit to Tim Twinklefingers, clean up their throw up, and half the guests are fucking robots for some reason. I don't know. Let's talk about the minigames. I spent hours just playing the damn minigames, and there are a shit ton of them. And my favorites, or at least the ones that I can remember liking from when I was like 7, are Bandito Chinchilla, a robot fighting one, a haunted shooting one, a wiring one, Sparkle Island or something like that, the one with that terrifying lunch lady boss in the corner, and then the fucking undisputed champion, Stunt Rider. Right there. What the fuck? Stunt Rider was so fun that I would literally forget that I was playing Thrillville. Like, I had the levels memorized and everything back in the day. Like, if I'm remembering correctly, on the 2nd level, you can go behind you backwards to get a star, or maybe... I think so. It was just one of the best parts of this game. But what the fuck is that music? I don't really frick with that. And you know, I could go on an entire tangent about how the music in these games is exactly what you would expect. But I think it's more important that you wake up.
I must say you're doing a simply smashing job. Do endeavor to reach the pinnacle of park management, and you will be greatly rewarded.